Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? I am Victor Danvers, lovingly called the hardest working man in comics, and it is my esteemed honor to moderate this panel here. How many of y'all love this little show called Helluva Boss? So you've heard of it. That's good. That's good. Now, it's really embarrassing if you haven't, because joining us on stage, if they can hear me beyond that door, we have Brandon Brothers! Hello. Welcome to the obstacle course stage. Oh, what the? Oh. Yeah, that's right. Just sit on your mic because of salt. Way to personalize the microphone. I love it. Hello! Good afternoon and welcome. How are you guys doing? I'm doing as good as Richard's doing.
He's having a bad day that you and I are about to have.
Well, listen, I'm on it. Richard, how are we?
We're doing great!
Yes!
Hello, Chicago!
Yes! Okay, so you guys have been here before, yes?
To Chicago?
Yes.
To Chi-Town?
To Chi-Town.
The home of the Cubs?
Come on now.
Come on.
Go Cubbies!
All of the above. Okay, so I gotta know, when you're here,
And a Chicago-style hot dog?
oh, wait, there was less claps on that one.
Woo! Yeah!
See, that was gonna be my question right there. Where do you land when it comes to Giordano's versus Bocce's pizza?
Giordano's.
Yeah.
You ever had a lunchable pizza?
We'll take it to Giordano's.
Now you're flexing right now. That's what that is.
You like a good cauliflower.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So these rabid fans of yours here, specifically I have to call out this young lady right here. So when they came in, refused to walk all the way to the end. They wanted to be right here so that they could see you.
You were here for 2 hours.
For 2 hours. Yeah. So I need you to make all eye contact with her right now. Into her eyes.
Who are you?
I was like, she was even asking, she was like, is it cool if I stop here? And I was like, no. She's like, I'm doing it.
Who are you?
I love her guts. You guys should hire her at EMP. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But, okay, so for all of you guys, we do have a microphone over here, so if you guys want to ask some questions, we're going to open things. Wow, that was fast. We're going to open some things up in a minute. But I got to know, when it comes to Helluva Boss, this is one of the greatest, smartest, fastest running sort of shows. And does this speak to you in terms of your personality, of how quick and quippy each of you are?
I try and keep up with Richard. And I think sometimes, well, it depends. Sometimes I think we keep up with each other very well.
Yeah.
He's been up for.
He's been up for a while. Travel does.
These parts were made for us. We're
Right.
improv guys from way back. So,
I love it.
So that really speaks to us. Yes.
You do bring that energy, and I think that's one of the fun things when it comes to what this show does. When it comes to improv, how important is that to acting, in your opinion?
I can kind of tell when we're going off the cuff, and when you watch it, there's certain parts that just sound so authentic, both from both of us and from the rest of the cast. You can tell sort of when, you know, like I think a lot of my stammers and stutters are kept in there.
I love that.
You know, and it's cool because when they animate to these realistic things, it makes the characters seem more real. They're not just saying every word perfectly, but like they have human qualities to the way they speak. That you can hear some of the train of thoughts with people. Like when Millie gets mad, there are scenes where like I feel it. You can hear, you know, and a lot of that isn't just them reading word for word on page. A lot of it's them kind of I get the line and then they act, you know, they live it, they play it.
Of course.
I think improv is very important to what we do. In fact, people ask me all the time how to get voiceover, and my recommendation is always take improv and sketch comedy classes first and foremost. And then take workshops with people who are actually in the business doing it,
Right.
casting people, actors, actors that actually have a teaching method, not just that someone would put out a shingle and say, hey, I'm a voiceover actor, so I can teach. But yeah, improv is very important to what we do.
Any actors in the room right now? Soon to be, hope to be? Okay, so improv classes, that's the way to go. Okay, now this one's a tough question. Obviously, this is a very humorous show in the darkest way possible. But do you feel like you're funny? And how do you
I did.
Okay. You should continue doing so. Yes.
I will say this. This show was a big validation for me, both as like a creator and as a human being. Blitz is so, the similarities between him and I are very, they're palpable. There's a lot of, and for a long time, I was, living in LA, trying to get a role in anything. And you feel like, at some point you start feeling like, well, maybe I'm just not funny. And then for Helluva Boss, which is a show that is so fused with our brand of, me personally, it's like it's so fused with that brand of humor and the characters.
That brand done. Yeah, I did. I went there.
That was a pun ninja. It's excellent.
But yeah, now that the show has an audience like this, it does feel validating. Like, oh, there is something funny there.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know. Like, it is a weird brand of humor, but it's nice for it to feel like it's found a home. But there's a crowd out there who also thinks that this twisted world is funny. The last episode had a lot of story. Even I was like, wow, that's a lot of that.
But that's funny. That's correct. Yes. No, that's amazing. And I think we all agree that this is one of the funniest shows of all time.
Yep.
What defines comedy for you?
I think comedy is defined by the situation.
Okay.
And I think that, that's what they call situation comedy on TV, right? So, I think that if the situation's funny and we know our characters, then we appear funny, but when you're playing, as I call it, we're not trying to be funny,
Right.
it's just we're trying to have a good time. Because if we're having a good time, you're having a good time. And oftentimes we're in a booth in the dark, alone, just the four of us at a time.
That's the most depressing
Yeah.
description.
But we're making each other laugh.
Okay.
We're having fun with each other, and I think that has a way of permeating the public consciousness. And since we're on YouTube, it permeates like a worldwide consciousness, which is pretty amazing,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Usually that booth is full of smoke. We're like, Richard Horvitz.
I need smoke. I need Sinatra playing in the background.
And sends a little person with the bell in the corner.
That's your line out. I think that's amazing. Actually, who has the best antics for how they like to record?
That's good. Rich is the only one besides Viv who's like seen every other performance.
Antics-wise, well, Brandon for sure, because the days we record Brandon, it's like a lot of fun and a lot of improv and a lot of things. We go off script a lot of the time, and then we always get one that's as written, but then we play. So antics-wise, Brandon by far, but also Vivian Nixon, Millie. She likes to play. Everyone likes to play. I don't think there's anyone in our cast who doesn't like to really have a good time when we're playing. Bryce Pinkham, Stolas, is so much fun. And I was surprised at how much fun he was when we started, because he was very properly trained along the way. And when we had to get to that scene where he goes, oh, Blitzy, I'm gonna beep, and I'm gonna beep, 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 beep. Everything that was beeped was truly beeped. It had to be beeped. And we're like, okay, this Bryce likes to play. So I like people who like to play.
And they had to burn the recording.
And we had to all remember that scene in So Good when she was covered in radiation and
That's
be
right.
hosed down. After Bryce is done, we all have to be hosed down like that in hazmat.
Yeah, the exercise, the film, like that's real. No, I
We
love
only have the budget for one person to hose us, so we have to do that once.
Exactly.
Oh.
I hate you, Ron.
it. But it was him that was doing the hosting, watching.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it, absolutely. Listen, I don't want to hold any more time, so I'm going to offer for you guys to ask some questions. So again, if you are wanting to get over, there's a microphone over here to make sure that we can hear you. So please make your way over, and we'll start with you, my friend. Hello.
Hello.
I'm gonna go ask a question. You watch my stuff? Yeah, I was gonna go, but talk for them. Sorry.
Royalty, Charlie is royalty. Is that governmental structure going to be built out in?
Don't bring politics into it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I can't really answer anything until Has-Been comes out, but there's definitely one thing you have to realize is that there's different rings of hell in our universe. So yes, there's that aspect of it, but in a governmental thing, nothing I can really comment on now. Good question.
There you go. There you go. You weren't just imagining that. That's just good. Go on. Hello, friend.
Hello. My question is for Richard.
Yes.
About 2 years ago, I'm not sure if you remember this, in Milwaukee, you had to miss out on a very awesome wedding. A year later, your then booth mate, Christine, made my wife, she's the woman in red over blushing over there, get up in front of a panel and get married again because he was devastated to miss it. I wanted to know if you wanted the same opportunity.
What do I have to do?
Just what Republican makes you I do.
Oh, okay.
Because I know you're devastated you missed out on the wedding.
Absolutely. It's heartbroken. You're so heartbroken.
Yeah. And you already got married though, right?
We did. Remember we reached out to you and you were like, oh, if you just reached out a little sooner.
Do you take her to be your lawfully wedded partner?
I guess. I don't know.
She's not even to stand up right now, so I can also not say that.
Do you take her to your lawfully wedded partner in crime?
Sure.
Good. I now pronounce you together again.
That's the first fun wedding I've ever been to. I love how quickly you rush over to the microphone to ask you to unmute them.
Actually, no, I'm.
Hi, I'm 18, and I'm also the creator of the TikTok Amigurumi Dolls from Helluva Boss.
Ooh,
And I'm not just here to relinquish them to you eventually. I also had a question. What's Moxxie's phone number?
Moxxie's phone number? 666-6666. 66.
No, my real question is, what was the hardest thing to film or to voice act? Like, you couldn't finish your line because you were either it was too funny or it was too emotional.
Is there one?
Well, I know that I'm wrapped out. I finished all my lines. I don't have to go back into the studio at any point this
Well,
year.
not this year, like in the past.
There are some takes where I'm like, and it's for my, a lot of it is, well, because I'm not there, I don't know about the other actors, but I can screw up a line so many times sometimes. And it becomes funny, it's like, all right, let's try it, 26, here we go. And that becomes so embarrassing, it's funny again.
Yeah. Would you like these now?
But I like that.
All 5 of the dolls that I created for you guys?
We can't take them here, but maybe downstairs after the panel?
Yeah, come to our table after the panel.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
No. Yes.
Hello.
Sorry, her question really gave you flashbacks. You should have seen your face.
I went to Vietnam.
Sorry?
No. What's your question?
Okay. So, when it comes to Stryker, what was your first impression on Norman Reedus? And, like, if you could, what's your best moment with him?
So Norman was a lot of fun. He was game for all of it. I know no one thinks he's this guy from Walking Dead. It's very serious. but he had a lot of fun playing with us. He was looking forward to record. And I think the most fun was hearing him sing. Yeah, because he sang that song, and he was nervous about it, but in the end, it came out great. He would have done the next episode of Striker, but his schedule was just unbelievable, so it just didn't work out. That's the only reason Striker wasn't in the same voice. Norman wasn't the next Striker.
Thank you. Hello.
I'm shaking right now. You have no clue how excited I am. Like, I'm gonna cry. Because I love you guys so much.
Oh, thank you.
I don't want to cry.
Take your time.
It's okay, take your time to cry. We will wait.
Like, honestly, I love you. What is your guys' favorite episode? Like, out of all seasons, what is your favorite episode?
Favorite episode?
Mine comes later in this current season. It hasn't come out yet.
Every time you say that, everyone's like,
Of the ones that haven't come out already,
Yes.
I love the Hollywood one because that's unbiased. That's where I
Like you yourself.
I'm in it. Well, I died.
really well done.
And I did not also know that I was going to be in it or that they were going to kill me off.
Brendan Ranger, right? Was it Ranger?
Brendan
My favorite was, I've got a couple. My top three are, I love X's and O's where I get to play my dad, Crimson. That was fun. I love our episode where we have the coffee order and the song. I'm a Virgo.
I love Animal the Opera.
Oh, yes, I love Animal the Opera. And the third one is Spring Break with human called me a possum. I am not a possum.
That's awesome. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I have been a fan of you, Richard, from when you were voicing Alpha.
Sorry, the Power Rangers are in trouble.
When I first saw the pilot episode, it was phenomenal, and every episode after it was phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, the episode where you got to voice your own, father, and emotion with that, like, yeah, you can tell, that, Moxxie does not like to bring up his, father's side of the family.
He's got a complicated relationship with his father.
Yeah, and with you, Brandon, with the episode of when Stolas was brought into the emergency room, and I definitely, felt that when you said he can get hurt, that definitely, I was like, my heart, it was definitely a very good emotional, delivered line. And thinking also, the text message, them, texting back and forth with each other. He was in the hospital, and that was heat, good, kind of emotion, still up down there. And well, my question would be, what would have been what you think about your characters if they, met you guys? Like,
Oh, wow. If your characters met you in real life, if Moxxie and Blitzy met you right now,
I think the only difference is I think Blitz and I would get along really well. I think the only differences between Blitz and I is he kills people.
establish that as the difference.
And that he likes horses. I hate horses. I hope someone filmed that and puts it on YouTube. I hate horses. Because have you stood next to one? There's no other greater reminder on this planet than a horse or just a little tiny sack of meat that can be extinguished like that. We're alive because horses just allow it. So I think they're horrifying. And then whoever just looked at one of those things and thought, I can get on it. It brings out the stupidity in us. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, horses and murder. Beyond that, I think we're pretty similar.
Yeah, I think Moxxie, with the exception of being, a sniper, is pretty much me. I love musical theater. I have a wonderful relationship with my wife, Kristen. Where are you, Kristen? Where are you? There she is. I would say that my character would be like talking to myself.
And I'm actually writing my own Helluva Boss fanfiction story with my own character as a hellhound bartender.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to do a thing of like honor the animators, clean up, animators with all the other actors with their names as different alcohol like in the background.
That's cool.
And a thing to honor them.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck with that. Yeah, that's awesome. Hello. Yeah, make some noise for
Make noise.
That was a noise, right? Sorry. Be more specific, Victor.
Alright, so obviously you guys as characters are very familiar with all sorts of different weaponry in the show, but how familiar are you guys with different weapons?
They just
guns and swords.
I threw a spoon at someone this morning.
Wait, that was you on the TSA thing? That was yeah, thanks, man.
Sorry.
The mystery has been solved.
In my primary reality, I'm not a weapons guy at all. I'm like very mild. I play a guitar and a ukulele. That's my weapon.
But he'll kill you with both.
I mean, we had a couple guns right here. But
And those were not prop check, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, we did not get a permit for these things.
I mean, is there a veterinarian around this area that you guys know in this way, or do you have to go into downtown Chicago? Because these puppies are sick.
Richard starts to go off on a tangent about something random. You're like, where is this going? Where's the fun? Look for it. It's coming.
Wait for it.
Yeah. It's a 12-pound baby. I like it. Thank you very much. Hello. Wait. A little bit more energy, please. There we go.
Okay, I'm literally about to cry. I want to say like a million different things.
Just one.
Oh crap. I don't know. I want Scolas to hug me and tell me it's gonna be okay. Alright. So I theorize over Helluva Boss. Every time a new episode comes out, I throw myself into the rant channel in my Discord server. I want to know your opinion on me saying Blitz's name 3,947 times and Stolas' name 2,963 times. That's on Discord alone.
Wow. Really? That's how many times it's been said? Wow.
By me alone. Only on Discord. I'm not talking about text. I'm not talking
Do you
about
leave the O out or do you leave the O in?
I say listen.
The O is silent.
Yeah.
And you say it or type it?
This is typing.
So that's even more effort. You have to like think.
I have to specifically put.
Are you trying to conjure them? Like just have
That's why I'm here.
I just want to be comforted by Blitz and tell it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna kiss Stolas.
Wow. Good luck with that. Hello.
Howdy. How are you? First of all, how are you?
I'm great. I don't know, Richard.
Richard's not doing well today, apparently.
My question is.
Someone threw a spoon at me in TSA.
I really like Pokemon a lot, so Pokemon related. If the characters were a Pokemon type, what would they be?
Oh my God, that just got personal.
Well, I'd be a trainer.
Yeah.
I would be, is Jinx the one with the boobs?
Yeah.
That's the only one I know.
Yeah. What about your goal is like, give me Jigglypuffs.
Jiggly.
That was great. I'm sorry. Hello.
My name is Jade. Hello. Okay, so I have a question for both of you. It's basically, what's your favorite improvised scene that made it into the cut, or like an improvised scene that you did that ended up not making it to the cut that you really wanted to be in the show? So yeah.
You know, I can't tell you which of my lines are improvised and which aren't, honestly. I've gone back, honestly, I've gone back and read the script on some of the episodes after they've come out, and there's some parts where we deviate quite a bit, and there's other parts that are, you think they're improvised, but they're written like that, so.
It's really hard to know that because we'll do one scene like multiple times in different takes, and we'll take a little from this improv, and then we'll put a little into that scene as written. So, and then to be honest with you, once we're done, Vivian takes it and her crew just does things, and sometimes they'll change the order of the original record, or they'll change, they'll redo something, and so it's hard to really know, because I don't know that we've ever done an episode that's fully as written, but we must have, but it's hard to tell, because it takes like 6 months for one episode to come out. We've moved on to other ones, so I wish we could just
release all the scripts and then have them tell us, like, okay, which ones are accurate?
Yes. Yeah.
Some of them are totally probably not at all. Like,
Yeah. That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. I'll be like in Congress. I'm gonna have to check that. We'll get back to you. We'll have that sent to you.
Also, someone has to format all those scripts, because I always get them formatted, and I just think it's someone's job to sit there and be like, bitch. Writing all the time.
It's a very happy intern right there, like this is amazing. Hello.
Hi. My question is for both of you. In the first creation of the show, just in like the first week of even the concept, what were some challenges that you guys ran into?
Starting with the pilot, you mean?
Yeah.
So the first thing was for Vivian getting everybody, and like everyone that did it, cast-wise, it was like always this disclaimer. Just so you know, it's going to have foul language, and it's going to have violence, and it's going to have sex, and all sorts of things. So we want you to be comfortable with that. And everyone that did it was perfectly comfortable with it. The biggest challenge was that we recorded our first episode of the pilot in person together, and then COVID hit, and then the entire first and second season that is in the middle, we're in the middle of now, was all done via Zoom. So people were all over the country, and some of them were out of the country when we recorded them. So challenge-wise, getting everybody recorded was a huge thing, because in a normal situation when there wasn't a pandemic, we would go in on a designated day every week for the entire length of the season. So we would get everyone recorded in that one day. But one episode can take us months to finish just the recording, because we need some incidental characters, some people are out of town, our schedules are out of whack. So that's the biggest challenge.
That was creepy going into that studio with no one else there. There'd be someone just buzzes you, and during COVID, there'd be like an empty building essentially, and someone would buzz you into the door, and you walk in, and these monitors are people behind the glass, and it was just so creepy, because you're like getting recorded, but you're like alone in this building.
Yeah, I felt very post-apocalyptic. It really did, because everyone's in a hazmat suit.
And getting showered butt naked.
Well, we still do that even though the pandemic.
It's fine.
These are the things that it takes to be a voice actor, people.
That's right.
Remember that.
Dedication to the shower.
Hello. Hi, guys. Mr. Horvitz, I've been a fan of you since you played Jagged. And my other two favorite characters are Billy and Zim. You know, how would Billy fit in that universe?
Billy in the Helluva Boss? I think he would fit right in, because he could go anywhere. Like, Grimm took him all over the universe and the underworld. And they're like, hey, what's that thing there? Can I use that gun? What you do? Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna shoot someone.
That's awesome. Billy can make a Helluva Boss.
Hi. I'm really nervous to wrote this question down. So we both know that Brendan plays original characters for his YouTube channel, right? What would happen if those characters met the Helluva Boss characters?
I was gonna say one more.
What would happen if the Helluva Boss characters met your characters?
I think they're definitely aware of each other. And yeah, this is Viv's. I mean, Blitz is one of Blitz's disguises. One of my characters is a clown. Like a TV show, like almost like a Krusty the Clown type figure. And in the Helluva Boss world, there's little references to that TV show. And then Blitz even disguises himself as that character. So I don't know. I've always just taken that as like, yeah, they're aware of each other. They know that they exist that's fine. They all get along.
Yeah.
I think they're well within each other's universes, and I think a lot of them even have each other's phone numbers.
Yes. Before we start the next question, we're technically supposed to stop at the 35-minute mark, but we have the room for another 10. Can we keep going?
Sure.
Okay. Double check.
I'm game. Unless no one wants to stay.
Can you guys keep going?
Can you guys?
That means you only have like 10 minutes, so good question. Really quickly.
Hi, sorry I'm very nervous and shaking. Am I allowed to ask a question about a normal British series?
Yeah,
Yeah, it should be. What were you thinking when you created half of the characters in that show?
Eating or drinking? What did you say?
It is normal British series. So I was drinking quite a bit when I that whole show, the whole theme of it is identity, who you want to become and who you want to be, being a better person and good. And so that's they just came to the conclusion that they should
That's not your cup of tea.
if anyone hasn't seen it, it stars the woman who plays Stella from Helluva Boss. She's a much more pleasant character in this show.
Hi. My question is, if you guys both died right now, what type of sinners do you think you'd be?
If both of us died right now, what's what?
What type of sinners would you turn into?
Musical theater.
Musical theater.
We already have kids.
Yes. Cats is pretty demonic.
Yeah, like a YouTube diseased sinner. Viral. Good job.
Hi guys. First of all, I'm recording so I can make my sister jealous because I get to meet Zim.
Oh, I am Zim. Hello, your filthy sister.
Second of all, Brandon, would you like to go to Giandelli's and have a Chicago English pizza?
I can sit on it.
Hey.
Oh, I'll sit on it.
That sounds like a yes.
Well, just let me know.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm also very nervous and shaking. I was even like this when I met Richard earlier. But my question is for Brandon. As someone who wanted to build like a YouTube channel, but like hasn't really done much of it, what's been your inspiration for like a lot of your characters? Like, for example, how Dino was like, I think you're one of your grandparents, right?
Yes, Dino was voiced by my grandmother, and I had a lot of an audio of her. We have this tradition in my family where when someone is on their way out, you just film them a bunch of times and just get as many interviews with them as possible, trying to immortalize them as much as you can. So I just used that audio and made a character. And it's honestly, she's still alive, but surprisingly, otherwise those recordings wouldn't have been made.
Honestly, I feel because like both my grandmas are no longer alive, so I wish I could have done that too.
Oh yeah, I think you should. I mean, that's the beauty of nowadays. We have this, we have new ways of immortalizing people other than just a photo album. You can, hear how they sounded and what they did. And yeah, it's like when I make characters though, I think your question is how do I come up with
What's your inspiration?
Yeah, they're just reflections of people. A lot of them are tributes and homage to someone that I very much admire. How something about them, the way they behave, the way that they did something, or just their occupation. Or some of them are parodies of people who I didn't get along with a long time ago. A lot of time when I was a kid, people who were scary, and it's like my way of kind of making them into something funny. So yeah, they come from all over the place, but. Yeah, anyway.
Great one. Hello. Hello. To answer your earlier question, head north on the river, turn left on Devon, that's the nearest veterinarian.
Yeah, these puppies are still sick.
Yeah, they are. Otherwise, how long did it take for you to develop the characters' voices, what they would and wouldn't say in each situation?
Knowing what they'll say in any situation takes just, months of playing as the character. As far as the voices are, Moxxie, Zim, most of my characters are very close to my own voice. That's how you can tell. But they have different wants and different locations and different stories, and they exist in different worlds. And so I have a saying that I always say, which is the voice does the work of the spirit of play. Like when you were a kid, voices just came out. If you have a dog, you don't go, here boy, you go, you get a good dog. Yeah. And in building. And that's just how they come out. Just playing for me.
Yeah. No, that's right on the head. I couldn't have said that better myself. You don't question the voice. When you're a villain, you just know you talk like a certain way. And that's, kids don't think about channeling it. How do we get into it? You just know that's the character. But I get it. Like, months of, we know these characters very well now. We're practically best friends.
But it's a good question because once you're playing in that world, you automatically start to know exactly how that character would respond in any situation. In any situation. It just kind of happens naturally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Janet. I was curious, what do you, after a long day of work, because usually we see the characters when they're at work at IMP, what do they do for fun when they go home? What are their hobbies?
Our characters?
Yes.
What is their musical theater for Moxxie? Sings all night.
Right into the couch.
Right into
the couch. Watches just any kind of like stimulus within a couch's reach to help him forget the day, probably. Probably some leftover, whatever, in a model on the coffee table. I don't know.
And my friend in the audience, can I get a quick shout out for Phoebe and Swiggles?
Phoebe and who?
Swiggles.
Squiggles?
Oh, Phoebe and Swiggles.
What is this, Squiggles?
A Phoebe. Thank you very much. Saying nothing. Hello.
Took this down. Hi. Two questions actually. One, could both Blitz and Moxxie please say hello in character?
Hi. Hello.
And two, how does Blitz feel about orphans?
Orphans? I already got a daughter. I'm good. Thanks.
That was so dark.
Who finds them tasty?
Yes.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
So, I wanted to ask Richard, how does Moxxie deal with Blitz's BS all the time? Like on a scale from 1 to 100?
I think that Moxxie grew up in a very abusive relationship, right? I mean, his mom was, and the dad was, so I think that there's like that he learned to kind of be subservient in a lot of ways, but I also think that that's why my favorite line in the song, and together we can learn to be fine at the end when we say. I think that's the secret to their relationship is that they met in prison and together they've learned to be fine. I think that Moxxie would prefer that Blitz not be filming him and Billy while they're having sex. But
We have our differences.
Yes.
To not prefer me to not. I want to do it.
The second one, actually not the second question, but you guys have been like my favorite show of all time, especially when I was at my downs, like at my lows. You guys always make me smile.
oh, thank you.
Especially when I'm at school, because I watch you guys at school and the teachers don't know that.
Okay, fair warning, we have 4 minutes, so as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I know that in one episode, Blitz said that he gets happy enjoyment in his life from homeless people. One of my friends here gave me a little glass baby. How would you feel if I ate one?
A glass what? A glass? Don't eat glass.
It's a little baby. It's a little baby.
It's a baby? You want to eat a baby?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
No!
Don't put the baby. No one should be putting baby fat into their body.
Yes.
Glass or real.
Yes.
The baby should be left outside of.
You're baby.
No return policy on the babies.
And once it's born, just leave it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Silence.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Wanted to first of all thank you both.
past shows, and Brandon, you with YouTube, watched all of your videos, complete binge-worthy content. Love it. Wanted to ask a question for you though, Brandon. What is your opinion on the dynamic that has been given between Stolas and Blitz?
Oh, well, I will say this. I do know how the series ends, and I do know their arc and I fully support where it goes. I don't want to weigh in on the Stolitz where they are right now because I don't want to, everyone has their own opinions on Stolitz, and I don't want to assuage that in any way or the other. But I will say I fully support where the arc goes with, well, really with all the characters, but especially with those two.
Nice.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. 2 minutes, super fast.
So Blitzo likes to stalk Moxxie and Millie and their relationship. What do you think Blitzo's favorite spot to hide in Moxxie and Millie's house would be?
I mean, other than the refrigerator?
I feel like an idiot. I've been doing the fridge this whole time. Found out that there's an air duct I could have been in.
Although there was that one where he was just right in the bed with me. That's the place for the hide.
Thank you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, this is going to have to be the last question. Sorry. You guys can ask your question downstairs.
If Zim and Gur worked for Blitz, what position would they have in the business?
Complete domination! Except for Gur, he would just eat devil muffins. He'd eat devil dogs.
That's real.
That's a real thing.
Do you want to weigh in on that one, Brandon?
I've never had a devil dog.
You have a whole dog.
I'll feed him to Gur if he wants some.
There we go.
Tomatoes on hot dogs, really?
Ew. No. Who puts ketchup on their hot
But
dog?
then there's a Chicago dog with tomatoes on it, right? No?
That's how it's made.
That's how it's made, right? That's right.
Yeah, you got your Chicago dog, your tomatoes, your relish, your mustard.
Can't do the tomatoes.
Let me introduce you to my father, who's a native Chicago, and he'll tell you something else.
He likes it. He likes the tomatoes on it?
Yes.
I like chili.
Only mustard.
Yeah, chili.
Fans for Chicago, make some noise one more time.